with honor!
Hello and welcome back to Fight with Honor. I'm your host, Honor Valencia, and today I am pleased to bring you Amberley Snider. She's the amazing woman the movie Walk Ride Rodeo is based on. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out on Netflix. We talked about her family, her horses, her faith, and a lot more. I really hope y'all enjoy this episode as much as I did. But first, today's show is brought to you by DS Sunglasses. They offer great quality sunglasses at a great price. Make sure to check them out at dsdias-gs.com or on Instagram at DS Sunglasses. Use discount code HONOR, HONOR 25 for 25% off any purchase. They also offer free shipping all around the world. We're also brought to you by LF78 Apparel. Brave enough to lead, humble enough to follow. We have lots of great apparel, and I say we because it's my apparel company. So go check us out at lf-78.com or on Instagram at lf78_apparel and use discount code HONOR15 for 15% off. Okay, here we go. Here's Amberley Snider. Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for the time to talk to me and to give my listeners a chance to hear more about your story. Really appreciate that.
Well, absolutely. I'm super excited we can make it work. I'm not home all the time to usually do podcasts. It just happens right now. I'm certainly home.
Yeah, well, recently I'm home all the time, and it's very rare I don't have my two kids running around. So my wife took them to the park to make sure that they didn't jump into the video or anything like that. So
Fair enough. I did a podcast earlier today, and they had dogs barking in the background to make it all work.
Yeah, that's true. I guess now everybody's kind of have to adjust. There's no peace and quiet at home anymore. And you can't really go to the offices or anything like that. Because here in Japan, everything's basically by train. So, they're suggesting we stay away from trains and buses and all that stuff. So
then you can't, are they still running the trains or not even doing that?
They're still running. In Japan, it's not like a mandatory lockdown or anything like that. It's just the government basically asking people and asking businesses to please shut down. But like where I live, there's still a lot of like bread shops and coffee shops and stuff that are still open, and there's still people there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Right. I'm just waiting for it to all finally chill out and get back to the life.
Yeah, I definitely am ready for that as well. And for kids to get back to school. I'm having a great time spending time with them and watching my kids, connect. But I also know they're missing out, at school and with their friends and things like that. So.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard.
All right. So I wanted to ask about the movie that just came out. That's about your life story, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And I asked a bunch of my followers on Instagram how many people had watched it. And I think it was like 82% of them had watched it. So that was great.
I'm good with that.
Yes. Walk Ride Rodeo.
That's right.
All right. And how did it come about for you to turn your story into a movie? How did that opportunity happen for you?
So, it started in 2013 is actually when the first production company came into play, and we started writing the script.
Okay.
That 2013, then their contract ended in 2015. I ran in the American in 2015, and a new company came on, revamped the script with the American in it, and then Netflix came on beginning of 2018.
Okay. And when you say their contract expired, does that mean they had 2 years to make the film, and if they didn't, you could move on?
Yeah. Like they had my life rights.
So okay.
Go with another company during that time period when they had my life rights.
Okay.
So kind of how that worked.
That sounds scary. Life rights.
It is really, when you think about it, like people really bought your life rights, and what is that worth? And it is kind of a crazy concept. But yeah. I don't know. It's a movie business, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And during that 2-year term that they had the life rights, was that just for what happened in the past, or did that include up to the last day of their contract?
That included, I think, I mean, up until the last day of their contract, just whatever they put together and whatever they wanted to be lined out. So I
Okay.
don't know, that one just faded and nothing had come of it. They didn't get that production company didn't get anybody involved in order to make the
Okay.
film. So then that's why it faded out.
Okay. And then another company came in, you guys, and were you able to take the old script, or that was
Yeah,
theirs, you couldn't touch
They
that?
bought, they bought the old scripts from the first company, and then we
Oh,
like
wow.
changed it and switched a couple things and revamped it, and then of course added the American at the end. So a little bit of both. Like we took it and then they made the adjustments they needed to. And then even when Netflix got involved, they took the script and made the adjustments that they wanted to as well.
Oh, okay. And how involved were you in the script, and even like choosing actors or anything like that? I mean, I don't know how that works when you have a movie made about you.
Right. I didn't either. A learning experience. I was able to be a part of the script a pretty good amount. Of course, in the writing of the script, in the picking of people, and the filming process, the post, and the whole concept, I had an opinion, not a say. So they got to do final say on things of what they wanted it to be like, or if they wanted things more dramatic or the Hollywood effect. All of that was up to them. But they did ask my opinion on some things. So, I mean, like I had an input, but bottom line, they did get to pick what they wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's usually how it works when they're doing all the financing and things like that. So
Yep, they get final say.
yeah. And how important was it for you to share your story?
For me, actually, when they very first came to me about the movie, I said no.
Oh,
Both
really?
companies. I didn't want to do it. I felt like my family had been through enough the first time around in real life that I didn't
Yeah.
want to relive that. My parents are the ones that talked me into it. They said, no, we think it'll benefit people and we should do it. So I'm like, okay, fine. Uh,
Yes.
so it was good. And honestly, now that it's all said and done and my story's out there, I'm really grateful for that. I feel like it's helped a lot of people. And I mean, that I can't trade, I feel like if it's helped people and inspired and motivated others, then that's the whole purpose of it in general.
Yeah, I mean, your parents were definitely right, because when my wife and I watched that, it was I'm almost getting a little emotional right now thinking about that, because like for me, I've been battling lupus for 15 years, and I almost lost my life 3 different times. And so watching your movie just really kind of hit home, especially when you felt down and you kind of wanted to give up, and I remember those same feelings. So and that the people that I've talked to, they've said the same thing, that your movie was, and your story was just so inspirational, and motivated them to, even people that haven't been through something as severe as you did, but to kind of realize that, wow, life is not as bad as you can make it seem sometimes, and we're lucky to still be around.
Oh, no, I totally agree with that. I feel like we all are going to have our challenges, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like they might not always look like mine or look like yours,
yeah.
but the challenges that people face, like that's the biggest thing that they've faced in their life. So that's what they can relate to. And I mean, it doesn't matter which challenge it is. I think that we all have to have the strength to overcome it. So,
Very true. Very true.
yeah,
Yeah,
we need
that's true. And
to get
and it's kind of perfect timing. Unfortunately, there's this, coronavirus going around and all that, but a lot of people are down right now, and a lot of people are home. So I think your movie's a perfect timing for people to watch it and get some inspiration while they're at home. And a lot of people are worried and scared, and so I really think that's a good movie for people to watch right now.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
feel like that people have been watching it since they've been home. Like it's been kind of spiked back up on people talking about it. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I like it.
Yeah. And you kind of touched a little bit in the movie about your faith, and so I wanted to ask, how important was your faith for your recovery, and even past your recovery, even up to now?
I've been really lucky to be raised in the family that I'm in, that we've always had, faith is a strong aspect for us. That
Yes.
such a huge role. Truly, I think to be able to believe that somebody else has your back, like that God's going to be there, and no matter what happens, it's for a reason, and he didn't give you anything you can't handle.
Yes.
I think just knowing that makes challenges just a little bit easier, just makes that burden a little bit lighter. I mean, I can tell you straight up, between my family, my faith, and my horses, that is why I am who I am and how I get to do what I do. So it's such a huge aspect. And even still, because obviously we still have hard days.
Yes.
And being able to have that to rely on is a huge strength.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that we have faith, but once we're tested, that's when you're really going to show how much faith you truly have. And I know for myself, with my battles with lupus, and I would get sick. Oh, and my faith was 100. I mean, I was reading the Bible every day and praying and Jesus, everything. And I'd start getting healthier. Okay, I'm okay. I'd spend a little more time outside or going to the gym or whatever. And once I was feeling really good, I would still pray, but not as much as when I was sick.
Right. And I think we have to learn the practice to pray for the praises and pray for the good things as much as we do for the battles. And I think we all struggle with that. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Something that you just have to constantly work on.
Yeah, it's easy to pray when things are going bad, but it's just as important when everything's going well. So
absolutely.
Good. That's great to hear that. And what part of your story wasn't in the movie that you kind of wish could have been put in there? Because you're limited with time for the movie. So is there anything you wish could have been put in there?
I wish that they had spent more time talking about how cool my family is. Like I said, my family, my faith, and my horses are how I am who I am. I don't think that they spent enough time really showing how cool they all are. I'm not the cool kid in the house. Like, obviously, there's 6 of us kids, and every single one of us has been super talented and worked hard in what we're involved in. And I wish that they had spent more time doing that. Or even just put more time in even to developing their characters, so that you got to know them along with the movie. If I could change one thing, that would be it. Just more family in there.
Yeah. I'm thinking back, I watched the movie, I think about a month and a half ago. And I can see they showed your brother in there a couple times, correct?
Which there's
6.
That's what's even so crazy. There's 6 of us.
Yeah, when you said that right now, I didn't even know that.
Right. Like there's a focus on one brother and one sister, really.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Besides me. So I wish, and you see them, like there are scenes that they're all in there, but they almost don't develop their characters, so you don't know who you're looking at. And I wish they had done a better job doing that.
Yeah. And because I have 5 older brothers, so we're 6 kids as well. Where are you in the order?
I'm second.
Yeah, you're second. Yeah, I'm the baby. We're six brothers, and we're from oldest to youngest 10 years apart. What's your guys' age differences?
That's exactly what we are too.
Are you serious?
Yep. My older sister is 20. Well, she's 30, and my youngest, she is 19. She'll be 20 this year. So yeah, right there, 10-year span.
Wow, that's crazy. So we both have 6 kids in the family and 10 years apart. I'm 42, and my oldest brother's 52, and everybody else is in between there.
Which I like that it let everybody kind of grow up together, and I really liked that.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I had my brothers as my friends, and I didn't really rely on outside people to kind of guide me or teach me things. I always had my brothers right there, and we could, once I got old enough, we could play sports together. We could go to the movies together, even still go out and have some drinks together once I was 21. Because I never drank before I was 21. So.
Of course.
So having a big family, it's amazing. And, now I have 2 kids, and I wish I was able to have a large family, the way I was raised and the way you were raised. But living in Japan, 2 kids is hard enough.
Is it? I
Yeah,
can
it's pretty tough.
imagine.
Yeah, it's not only, like cost and everything, but houses are small here. There's really no big parks to go play in. There's a lot of small parks, and education here. You spend so much money on education. It's crazy.
So it would be hard to have a big family. They're just not set up for it.
Yeah, yeah. My wife, they're four. That's a family of four, and that's considered a really big family. Um, Here in Japan. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So once we head back to the States, maybe we'll add one or two more. But I
Right.
don't I don't think we're going to get to six. And after the movie was finished and it was released, how did you feel? Like the first day, and then even like a month after, did it change? What were your feelings?
Oh man, it was kind of crazy. It was pretty surreal. I mean, I knew people would be watching it, right? And I knew people
Yeah.
would see it, but you don't even know the effect you're going to have until it's happening.
Yeah.
The amount of people that reached out and the amount of people who started following my story and the stories start coming in about their lives, and it was pretty surreal. It still kind of is, like when kids will mention things about my life and I'm like, wait a minute, how do you know that? And I'm like, oh, that's right, because there's a whole movie I watched.
You're like, I got a little stalker here.
It is. Like that part is still kind of crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Like I did a watch party the other day where people could watch the movie with me and ask me questions along the way, and
Oh, that's
it was great.
awesome.
I mean, it was just, I mean, I love the support that came in from that, but it does seem surreal that there really is a movie that is about me, and I don't know. It even seems weird still saying it out loud because it just is what it is, and I'm glad it's there.
From the last day shooting until it was released, how long was that approximately?
That would have been about 7 months, 8 months, kind of around there.
Okay, and how was that?
We filmed it in the summer, maybe
Okay.
7 months, and then it was released in March, the beginning of March. So yeah, like 7 months. They sent me around in November. I got the first producer's cut to be able to see it and get some feedback and give them some feedback on some things. And then they took it back in and did some more producing. And then I saw it again, I think in January or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had the reveal like that. I brought my family in and we all watched it together like as a premiere.
Yeah.
It came out for everyone else.
Yeah. How was the time between finishing the production to before it was released? Were you just anxious? Were you kind of second guessing yourself? Why did I do this or anything like that?
I don't know. I think it was mostly just you put your trust in someone else's hands to tell your
Yeah.
story, right? And so you just hoped that things were portrayed the right way. I mean, and I'd seen it. Like, I mean, I'd seen things, but you still hope that people read them the right way or
Yeah.
understand text. And so I don't know if I regretted it. I just was like, okay, I hope people like it. And I hope people, if they're portrayed in it, I hope that they like themselves. Plus, then I felt like I sent out a text to quite a few people that I'm like, they didn't put you in the movie, but that's not because I didn't feel you were important. Like, we just couldn't have so many characters.
Yeah.
So I want people to make sure that they still felt like they were super part of my journey, even if they weren't in the movie themselves. So it's just stuff like that, right? Like you want people to be happy with it.
Yes. Oh, so yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. There was people that were there that were probably cut from the film.
Yeah, because they just can't portray that many characters. And so it's like, and there's so many people that make it work, Like I had a friend at home that he was a family friend that, I mean, he was like making sure my horses were staying fed while my parents were with me. Like, you
Yeah.
can't show that guy because they just don't have time to do that. Or my friend in the hospital that tried to make sure that there was a bed on the floor that was lined up for my mom when I got there. They don't show that. There's those bits and pieces that they can't show. I mean, for instance, like they picked my one friend, Emmy, who is my best friend.
Yeah.
Like they could pick one friend. Like they couldn't do all my friends. They could just pick one friend. And so you think about that and you don't want people to be offended.
Yeah.
So I feel like I did that quite a bit. I sent quite a few text messages out or calls or whatever to people saying, I know you're not in the film, but that's not because of, lack of importance.
Yeah.
Like, kind of how it went.
Yeah, and I'm sure whoever was helping you during that time had no idea there was going to be a movie made about you. So it's not like they were doing it to any ulterior motives or anything like that. So I'm sure they completely understand.
Well, yeah, and they did. No one was mad at me.
Yeah.
It was okay, but I did worry about that quite a bit.
Yeah, I probably would have been mad if I was feeding your horses and I didn't even get a 5 seconds in there.
I know. Seriously though, I did stress.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's not about me. It's like about everyone else that's in my life that I want to make sure they're happy with their characters or their portrayal or lack of portrayal. Like, yeah, you worry about that quite a bit.
Yeah, but when you're making a movie, you're really limited with what you can put in there. Like you said, they got to develop characters, and that takes time, and that would take time away from your journey. And so, yeah, I guess you're pretty limited who you can get in there.
Yep, definitely.
And I mean, I think it's been probably 20 years or more since I've been on a horse. And for people that have never been on a horse, how would you explain that feeling and that connection that you have with your horses? And how did that change, if at all, after everything happened?
For me, there's so much freedom and happiness that comes from them. Like, I just explained the way I feel on a horse. I think we all have a passion like that. Yeah. So some people, it's a sport, or maybe it's working out, or maybe, whatever it is, maybe it's an instrument or art. Like, we all have that passion where we find a freedom in it. So it's that same emotion that I get. Like, that's what I have when I'm on my horse. It uplifts my spirit. It uplifts the way that I feel. It uplifts my mood. All of that happens on the back of a horse. After my accident, feeling like I lost that, I felt like I lost a part of me for quite some time that I didn't know what I was going to do. And then, getting my horses back once again gave me the freedom back, but also the appreciation for it. I truly don't know what I would be without them. Like, I'm just very thankful that I still have the ability to ride, and not even just ride, but at the level that I want to ride at.
Yeah. You're still competing to this day, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. From the time of the accident to the first time you got back into actually training for, not just for riding or, getting your body used to being back on a horse, but for actual like a event, how long was that?
So from my wreck to when I very first competed again was 18 months. I wish it was way less, but I took a 9-month period without my horses that I felt like I had to adapt to my chair and handle like things in life. And then I was able to take my horse challenge again. Otherwise, that should have been faster than that, but that's what it was.
18 months?
Yeah, I wish it should have been faster. My first time back on a horse was 4 months.
4 months after your accident?
Yes, it was the first time I got back on, but it took me 18 to get back to competing.
Wow. Yeah, you're saying you wish it was faster, but I'm thinking, wow, that is so fast.
People say that, but in my mind, I'm like, it should have bbeen 6. It should have been 2 months after I had it figured out.
Wow. So 4 months after the accident, you were back on a horse.
Yes.
That's amazing. And then 18 months to get back into competition.
Yep.
And how was that competition, the first one? What were your emotions and how did everything go for you?
It wasn't too bad. I was about a second off of what I had been before. Okay. So not terrible. I would have, been in a pretty decent position. I was excited about it. It gave me a lot of hope of I could still do what I wanted to do. Of course, there were people who were crying and cheering and scared. Yeah. Emotions. I think they probably went through those more than me. Like, for me, just as a competitive person, I'm like, I'm going to go in and do my best and be competitive, and it's going to work that way.
Yeah. And whatever happens.
Right.
Yeah, I guess, you made a good point. A lot of times the people around us actually, it seems to affect them more than it actually affects the person that's in the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so. think like my mom panicked every time I ran. She probably still does. So
Yeah.
it's just
I remember
that.
I remember the movie. Yeah, but the character in the movie, that was a great, I mean, what an amazing mother to have. Somebody that just
Yeah.
pushes you, that was amazing to see. My wife and I were just like, wow, that's a great role model to have as a mother.
Yeah, they did a very good job with that.
Yeah. Um, how about with everything that's going on now? All events are probably, suspended or canceled for quite some time.
Yep, they are. Everything, as long as people keep using the word postponed, I don't panic so much about it. We're just rebooking speeches into the fall, and hopefully that all continues to work out in the best way. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I've been home this much in 5 years. It's kind of a crazy thing. I'm looking at it as a blessing.
Yes.
There's a lot of I've put like my physical health on the back burner for quite some time, and I'm getting to spend more time doing that, and it's good. I mean, of course, I miss speaking, and that is my income, like that is my job.
Yeah.
But trust God's going to get it figured out, and we'll get back in track. It just might take
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah. I think a lot of people in the beginning were just kind of thinking it was going to be something quick, and it's taking longer than most of us would like or we even expected. But I've seen a lot of people using this time, like yourself, to get their health back and rest up and reading books. A lot of the people, a lot of my followers, I asked them what are they doing. They're reading books, they're watching movies like yours, something motivational.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best thing we can do right now. Spend time with our families, spend time taking care of ourselves, and just prepare for the comeback.
That's what I think. I think we can't, there's just not everything we can control. And so take advantage of what you can and do the best with it, really.
Yeah. What do you spend most of your day doing right now?
Oh, I mean, like I get my horses fed and taken care of. I ride. I get all of my horse life done.
Yeah.
I have a standing frame, and I try to stand in that for a couple hours. I try to work a little bit every day, clean a little bit
Yeah.
every day. I break things up so that
Yeah.
I like spending all day doing one thing. Started doing just like working out and getting my physical abilities at the best that they can be. I don't know. So I just break up every day. I cook a lot. I, I mean, my brother lives in my house with me, and so he's a chef, so he likes to make dinner.
Oh,
So he does a very good job with that, but I tell him if he makes dinner, I'll always make sure he has a dessert. So I stay very much on top of that. I mean, just little things. I feel like, all those bits and pieces. I've been writing a book, so I've been trying to spend a little bit of time doing that as
okay.
well. I mean, just all of the above. I think that's just what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to find something new, something new to do and to try to keep your mind sharp. I've just been chasing these kids around. That's all I've been doing. I haven't really been working out or anything like that. And I was eating terrible the first week, and I started feeling slow. And so I told my wife, I was like, all right, if I'm not working out, I at least got to eat healthy. So I've been trying to get that back on track, and I'm going to try to, get some workouts in. But I have such a hard time getting motivated to work out at home.
That is tough. That is a hard part.
Yeah, but you probably get a lot of exercise too with like you said, your horse life, right?
I definitely do. But then I'm at a gym just one-on-one. So we're open the weekend.
Oh,
So if you just have like a personal trainer, you can go in and do that. So I started doing that like 2 weeks ago, doing some CrossFit. And so I've been doing that since I've been on this break, I guess you could say. And then I stand at home in my standing frame, and we're making it work.
yeah. I saw on your Instagram your goal was to do 2 hours.
Yep, at least 2 hours of standing every day.
How did it go?
I've been good so far. I've stood for about an hour and a half today so far, so I'll stand for another 30 minutes after dinner and while we watch a show or something on Netflix, and yeah, it makes it work pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, yeah, hopefully everything gets back to normal soon. And like I said, I really appreciate your time, but more importantly, I really appreciate you sharing your story with all of us and inspiring us and, giving us something to be happy about, especially in a time like this.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
See you later.